All right, let's talk about an absolute giant in the world of success literature. We're diving into Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And this wasn't just some book he whipped up over a weekend. Nope. This was the result of 25 years of research, getting inside the heads of the most successful people on the planet.
And right from the very beginning, Hill drops this massive hint. He says, look, there is a single, powerful secret to making money woven through every single chapter of this book. He never just comes out and says, here it is, but he promises it's there, waiting for you to discover it.
Which naturally leads us to the big question, right? The one we're all asking. If this secret is so powerful, what in the world is it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack together.
So the whole story really kicks off with the legendary industrialist Andrew Carnegie. He meets a young, ambitious Napoleon Hill and throws down a challenge. He basically says, I'll give you the secret, but you have to spend the next 20 years proving it works by studying other successful people. And then you have to share it with the world.
But here's the interesting thing about this secret. Hill makes it really clear. You can't just buy it. It's not a simple piece of information. He says it comes in two parts. And get this, if you're truly ready for it, you already have one half of it right now. It's about being in the right state of mind.
And that state of mind, that journey, it all starts right here. This is the foundation. It's not about just wanting something or wishing for more money. Hill is adamant that the first, most critical step is what he calls a burning desire.
And we need to be really clear about what that means. A hope is passive. A wish is something you think about for a minute and then forget. A burning desire, though, that's a whole different animal. It's a crystal clear goal that becomes a white-hot obsession. It's something you think about day and night.
To show you just how potent this is, Hill shares this incredibly personal, powerful story. His own son Blair was born without any physical sign of ears. The doctors delivered the devastating news that he would almost certainly be deaf and unable to speak for his entire life.
But Hill, he just refused to accept that. He made a decision. Right then and there, he created a burning desire and unshakable belief that his son would hear and speak. And as he says, he never backed down from that desire, not for a single moment.
And what happened? Well, it's almost unbelievable. That intense desire, that unwavering faith, it's somehow translated into reality. Through a series of events and discoveries, Blair eventually gained the ability to both hear and speak. It was living proof of the power of a single, focused, burning desire.
Okay, so you have that burning desire, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a smooth ride. Not at all. Hill gives a huge warning that you are absolutely going to face what feels like total defeat. And how you react in that moment? Well, that's everything. He tells this famous story about a guy named R.U. Darby, whose uncle got gold fever. They went out west, found a spot, started digging, and boom! They struck gold. They were ecstatic. But then, just as quickly, the vein of gold just disappeared. They kept digging, found nothing, and finally, completely discouraged, they just quit. They sold all their machinery to a local junkman for pennies on the dollar and went home defeated.
Now this junkman, he was a little bit smarter. He thought, maybe I should get an expert's opinion before I start digging. So he hired a mining engineer to come out and take a look. The engineer checked the geology, did a few calculations, and realized the Darbys didn't know about something called fault lines.
The engineer's report came back with a shocking discovery. The gold vein hadn't vanished. It was still there, just 3 feet. Literally 3 feet from where the Darbys had stopped digging. The junkman went on to take millions of dollars out of that mine, all because the original owners gave up too soon. And this is the lesson, right? What we call failure is often just temporary defeat. It's a trickster. It loves to show up right when you are on the absolute brink of success, just to test your persistence.
So, you've got the desire, you've got the persistence to push through defeat. What's next? Well, now you need the tools to actually build your success. And for Hill, the most powerful workshop you'll ever have is right between your ears. It's your imagination.
Hill says there are 2 kinds of imagination. First, there's synthetic imagination. This is where you take old ideas, old concepts, and just arrange them into new combinations. It's like building with Legos. But then there's creative imagination. This is where the magic happens. It's the source of hunches, of inspiration. It's where truly brand new ideas come from.
And this brings up such a crucial point. You can read all the books in the world, but knowledge by itself is basically useless.
It has no value until you organize it and apply it in a definite plan of action. The real starting point for all riches, the thing that kicks everything off, is a single, powerful idea.
And when you start building out that plan, especially if it involves offering a service or a product, Hill shares this simple but brilliant formula that he learned straight from Andrew Carnegie himself.
It's called the QQS formula. First, Q for quality. The quality of what you do has to be top-notch, down to the smallest detail. Second, Q for quantity. You have to make it a habit to deliver all the service you're capable of, and then some. And finally, S for spirit. The way you deliver that service has to be positive, agreeable, and harmonious. You nail those three, and you become indispensable.
So you have desire, persistence, imagination, a great plan. You should be all set, right? Well, not quite. Hill says there is one final battle you have to win, and it's the toughest one of all. It's the battle against the enemy within your own mind, fear.
And he gets really specific, identifying what he calls the 6 basic fears that haunt humanity. The fear of poverty, of what others will think, of getting sick, of losing someone you love, of getting old, and of course, the fear of death. He argues these fears are like ghosts that paralyze us and sabotage our dreams before we even start. So how do you beat them? His solution is breathtakingly simple, yet so powerful. You conquer fear by making a decision. A final, absolute, blanket decision that nothing life can throw at you is worth the price of worry. You decide that your peace of mind is more valuable than anything else.
And that brings us right back to the beginning, full circle. From that burning desire, through the persistence, the planning, all the way to conquering your fears, it all comes down to this one central, explosive truth. Every single thing we achieve, all the riches ever earned, they all started as nothing more than an idea, a simple thought.
So, after all of this, the question isn't really about whether these principles work. History has shown they do. The only question that matters now is the one Hill is really asking you. What idea, what burning desire are you going to bring to life?